You are welcome to this week edition of Security Update. In this edition, we will discuss several topics, including the kidnappings of school children around the country and the panic that followed thereafter. Still, the ongoing peace talks between communities and Yan Bindiga, as they call them in Hausa, or terrorists, as most other Nigerians know them. The flooding of Nigeria's social media, with horrific pictures and videos from the Sahel region. This, of course, is increasing panic, but should serve as a warning to both the government and the people of Nigeria. And then we'll also discuss the debates that Nigerians have been having as to whether there's a genocide in Nigeria or not, and also whether if there is a genocide in Nigeria, it is only one group that is affected. Also, as to what exactly Donald Trump wants to do in Nigeria. Did he say he's going to invade Nigeria, or he said he will come in and take out the terrorists that are harassing Christians in Nigeria? Again, my name is Rimamnde Shawulu. This is Update. Last week was indeed a very horrific week for Nigerians. We had the kidnappings of school children in Kebbi State, and then the kidnap of over 300 children or pupils or students from Niger State. And as at Sunday evening, stories were emerging about the kidnapping of more female teenagers from Borno State. And of course, as you look around the country, there appears to be a heightened activities of these terrorists or bandits or Boko Haram, as you may wish to call them, to the extent that the governor of Borno State, His Excellency Professor Zulum, has asked for prayers and fasting to stem the tide and the increasing wave and apparent successes of Boko Haram in Borno State again. Of course, not long ago, just a few weeks ago, we had the horrific story of the death of a brigadier general of the Nigerian army who was killed with 3 other soldiers. And of course, the execution was filmed and aired to the whole country, the whole world. A very horrific picture. And Brigadier General Musa Oba appears to be the first military army general to have been captured by the terrorist group Boko Haram or ISWAP, whichever group may have caught him. And this, of course, is a very low period for the Nigerian army, and the action itself may have boosted the morale of the insurgents, who appear to have successfully captured a 1-star general of the Nigerian army. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu ordered his aides, the minister and the chief of army staff, that headed for Kebbi State, and by Sunday evening, stories were being told that the end of the horrific suffering by the female students who were kidnapped may be at hand, as there were indications, according to reports from government spokespeople, that these girls may be set free. Of course, some good news came over the weekend too. The parishioners who were abducted from the CAC church in Kwara State have been released by their captors, and the governor of Kwara State has been thanking President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for helping to get those parishioners, churchgoers who were kidnapped live, have been set free. Naturally, of course, several state governments, the governments of Plateau State, the government of Niger State, Kebbi, and several other states in the country have since closed schools. There was the story, the closure of federal government colleges, popularly known as the Unity Schools, but later reports came out, government appeared to be denying that it had ordered those schools closed. Of course, the way they are being conducted will actually send chills down the spines of the public. Even right here in Abuja, the federal capital, parents were seen going to school to go and get their children out of harm's way. Getting the schools closed will actually be a victory for Boko Haram that has been wanting Western education to be banned. The second topic is the ongoing peace talk that several communities have held with bandits. And at the last count, it was reported that over 20 local government areas in Katsina State have signed such peace accords. Some local governments in Zamfara have signed such peace accords. And it might be noted that that's not the first time peace accords have been signed between warring communities in Nigeria. The people in southern Kaduna have signed several peace accords with so-called Fulani headers, but the signing of those peace accords did not change the situation in southern Kaduna. As a matter of fact, sometimes as peace discussions are going on, as it's happened in Taraba State, in Takum, while peace was going on, bandits were attacking some communities. Furthermore, I did say last week, and it might be important to point out also this week, that signing of peace accords with the bandits being allowed to hold their guns, to go about freely, to go in and come out of communities is a very big danger that the president must put an immediate stop to. Because these bandits or these terrorists or Yan Bindiga as they are called in Hausa will use the opportunity to recruit more youths, because it does appear they are receiving funding from some places and they will lure more youths into their camps, and they will use the fact that they can freely move in some local government areas to terrorize those local government areas or communities that have not signed, many that they will keep expanding. They will keep expanding until they become very difficult to control. Usually, peace accords are signed by the state that controls the instrument of violence after it has thoroughly defeated these bandits or terrorists. You don't sign peace accords with people who are still holding their guns. It means that there's a contest of legitimacy as far as those communities are concerned. And if the communities sign these peace accords with the bandits or Yambindiga, it means that their loyalty is divided between the Yambindiga or the terrorists and the government. And that is not good for the federal government. The third point is that many people will have seen a lot of terrorists in the bushes. Some of the bushes may look like Nigeria because they have trees and they appear forested. Terrorists holding big guns, using flying boats on rivers and speaking what appears to be Fulani. A check on the videos will show, and some of the pictures will show, that the uniform that they are using, the military uniforms, are not actually Nigerian military uniform. And the Fulfulde that is spoken, or the Fulani that is spoken, that not appear to be the dialect of the Fulanis in Nigeria. Of course, those videos, including the ones where hoodlums or terrorists are using sledgehammers or very big boulders to break the heads of people, to kill people or rape, are actually sending fears into the hearts of Nigerians. But for now, many of those videos that are flying in the country do not appear to be videos of Nigeria. Yes, I want to discuss the issue of whether there is genocide in Nigeria or not. A friend of mine sent me a text message after my last video asking me when I will be able to speak about the number of Muslims that are also being killed by these terrorists. I started hearing for over 2, 3, 4 years people saying that there are more Muslims that are being killed by these terrorists than Christians. These problems did not start today. And Christian groups, churches have been recording the number of churches that are destroyed. As at the last count, I'm told that EYN, that is the Church of the Brethren, the predominant church in Yobe and Borno State and some parts of Adamawa State, have had 10,000 churches destroyed. There are over 100,000 orphans in those churches. I do know, as a matter of fact, that when Shekau started his campaign, he did make it very clear that they were after Christians and other non-Muslims until they make Nigeria a Muslim country. Several Christians were abducted by Muhammad right inside Maiduguri and killed. And of course, the fact of the matter is this, that what is the definition of genocide? If you just check the ordinary English definition, you will notice that it is clearly targeted killing. The fact of the matter is that a Muslim going to kill a Muslim at best could be described as fratricide. That is a brother killing a brother. That one is very correct. The fact that Muslims are also being killed by these terrorists does not mean that the terrorists are not targeting Christians. And the question too is that, does the killing of Muslims mean that if Muslim groups targeting Christian groups are not targeting Christian groups? No, they are. If you even look at the case of Rwanda, the Tutsis were being killed by the Hutus. There were many Hutus, thousands of Hutus that were killed by Hutus because they believed that the Hutus were liberal. They were protecting Tutsi. And Shekau did say in one of his messages that they were going to attack Muslims who did not cooperate with them in attacking Christians and non-Muslims. The video is available online for anybody that wants to listen to, again, to listen. And the fact too that the German Third Reich killed the Jews, targeted the Jews, and killed a lot of them does not mean that several Germans were not killed. Several hundreds were also killed by the government that was targeting the Jews. The same thing if you just go back of recent to the ISIS and the work that he's been doing in Syria and Iraq, you'll discover that the ISIS targeted minorities, including Christians, including the Yazidis. But of course, it did kill Muslims, thousands of Muslims. But that did not stop the Muslims who wanted to correct the situation from describing the activities of the ISIS as genocide against the Yazidis, notwithstanding the fact that the ISIS also killed Muslims. So I'm really at loss. The terrorist groups who say boldly in their videos that they are working in the interests of Islam and that their target is to make Nigeria a Muslim entity, I don't think it makes any sense denying the obvious that the group, both the bandits in the bushes of the Northwest, go about in the name of Islam. And Shekau and his people, including the ISWAP, is working in the name of Islam. And as they did in Syria and Iraq, any symbol of Christianity, any symbol that is not Muslim is destroyed. We need to come to terms that the activities that those guys are engaged in, even though they also harm Muslims, may disrupt more Muslims than even Christians, for the mere reason that in some of the areas where there may be no Christians, does not mean that we should ignore what they are saying. I think we need to take them seriously. If they say their target is to wipe out Christians and non-Muslims in Nigeria, the truth is we should take them seriously. And finally, I want to discuss the issue of President Donald J. Trump. I'm very surprised that well-meaning people have decided to deliberately distort what President Donald J. Trump said to enable them argue against him. In his postings on social, President Donald J. Trump did not say he will invade Nigeria. Look at the screen again for what he said. He did say he will come in and go for the terrorists in Nigeria. He did not say he will attack any Nigerian community. He did not say he will attack any Nigerian government institution. And in any case, I'm surprised that even academics, people who should know better, are also distorting what President Trump said to arrive at their conclusion that if they do intervene, if they come in to take out the terrorists that the Nigerian government is unable to deal with, they are invading Nigeria. Is the Nigerian government the promoter of these terrorists? Are these terrorists working for the Nigerian government? If they are not working for the Nigerian government, then why should anyone be afraid that they will be taken out? And in any case, it is very clear, Nigeria will not be the first, Nigeria will not be the last country where the United States will use whatever asset that it has to take out terrorists. The US military has been in Nigeria before. They took out terrorists to rescue American citizens in Nigeria who were being held captive in Sokoto State. Number two, the United States government, as a tradition, has always been going out of the United States to go and take out terrorists. President Barack Hussein Obama did that a lot. He used drones, technology that was emerging at that time, to take out several terrorists in Iraq, in Yemen, in Pakistan, and in Afghanistan. And of course, people should remember that the United States went to Pakistan to take out Osama bin Laden. Yes, the United States always uses its military assets to take out terrorists. And Nigerian government has in the past requested United States government for assets and for assistance in taking out these terrorists. Why is it today that we have a more existential problem that some Nigerians don't want the US to come in? They are talking about, is it because the president also mentioned Christians? Is it not true that Christians in their millions have been sent out of their homes? Are some people happy that Christians have been sent out of their homes? Some for more than 5 years, 10 years living in refugee camps. Some have had their villages overrun and renamed. Is it an agenda of government? I think these are issues that when we are looking at how we can help Nigeria, we need to look at the issues a little bit more objectively and more holistically. The issue is not about Donald Trump coming in to fight Muslims. He's coming in to take out terrorists who even his traducers in Nigeria have admitted are targeting both Muslims and Christians. What is your take about the current security situation? Do you feel safer today than you had before, or you are frightened that things are getting out of hand? My name is Rimamnde Shawulu.